To the playoffs we go now over in the Europa Conference League with 8 clubs already waiting for the results of these two-legged playoffs. But who will go through? Who will go home? We're going to take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about the Europa Conference League playoffs first legs coming at you this coming week as we see who gets a step closer to getting into the official knockout stages. Who's going ahead? Who's going to be, of course, balls? That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about Europa Conference League playoffs. That's right, it is the first legs coming at you. Which clubs will get the upper hand heading into this two-legged affair? We're going to get into that and more in a second. If you're new where you've been, hit the old subscribe. You want to stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, Conference League, World Football. We're going to all hear under one rooski. That's right, the big boys are waiting. Your Chelseas, your Fiorentinas, they're already safe as houses. But who will get the upper hand of this coming week? Well, we'll take a little look in a second. Big shout out to the members. Big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. But what we're going to do now, though, is revisit the last round of games, bring you bang up to date with, of course, the table, and show you who's actually waiting in the other end, the other side of the draw here. So sit tight, hold on. Here we go. Alrighty, folks, let's turn the clock back to this past last match day, which was back in 2024. And these were the games. That's right, absolute shambles on the screen. Yes, I had to take a snapshot. I lost the original picks. But anyway, you can get the gist. My predictions were on the right. The real deal was on the left. So when we played match day number 6, I believe, Chelsea coming out on top with a 5-1 win over Shamrock. Rovers on with a 3-0 win. Real Betis with a 1-0 win over HJK Helsinki. I went with a 3-1 win. Last section, Víkingur ended up all square as predicted. Dush Gardens with a 3-1 win over Legia Warsaw. I went with a 2-1 win. Nikosia with a draw against Astana. Got that one bang on point. With my Molde with a 4-3 win over FKMB. I went with a 2-0 win. Heidenheim could only draw against St. Gallen. I went with a 2-1 win. Victoria Guadamares and Fiorentina ended up all square as predicted. Copenhagen, though, with a picking up a loss to Rapid Vienna. I went with a 2-1 away win. Sussel Bruges could only draw against Başakşehir out of Turkey. I went with a 3-0 win. Hearts and Petrocub ended up all square 2-2. I went with a 2-1. Ljubljana with a 2-2 draw against Paphos. Of course, Ljubljana going through to the official last, or the final 16. Paphos in a Cypriot affair. We'll see that in a minute. Meanwhile, Panathinaikos with a 4-0 win over Dynamo Minsk. I went with a 3-0 win. Back up to Topola with a 4-3 win over Noah. I went with a 2-1 win. Borac, Banja, Luka with a 0-0 draw. I went with a 1-0 win. Meanwhile, Białystok come out of Poland. Drew with Olimpija. Ljubljana there. It was a 0-0 full final scoreline. I went with a 1-1. Celje with a 3-2 win over TNS out of Wales, and I went with a 3-0 win myself. And Lana did beat Gent, surprisingly, 1-0. So those were the games and my predictions. Not too shabby in my eyes. This is the table then. Let's go through it, of course, and show you who's going home, of course. So these teams are out. Bottom 16, is it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12? Bottom 12 here are going home. So we say goodbye. Must be the biggest team on here. You're probably with, well, Lasic out of Austria, pretty big. Meanwhile, St. Gallen also, Switzerland right there. Başakşehir coming out of Turkey, and Hearts of Scotland. Of course, they're the biggest losses here. That their European adventure is over. Meanwhile, into the middle of the pack, these guys will be going out in this video today. In the first legs, it is the playoffs. There's 16 clubs in here, I believe. And, of course, some big boys, including Real Betis. They have to duke it out. Gent, Heidenheim from the Bundesliga as well. So they're your big boys, and they'd fancy their chances to get through to the actual last 16. Where in that last 16, we'll be waiting for these guys, of course. Chelsea, Victor Guadamares, Fiorentina, Ljubljana over there, Legia Warsaw, Club Bruges, Dush Gardens. So these guys are taking it easy for a little bit. So sit tight, hold on, and we'll get into those in a second here, guys. All right, let's showcase you the teams that are actually going through into the playoffs and then beyond. Starting with those teams in those playoff stages, we got Víkingur, we got Paphos, Celje, then Molde, Real Betis, Panathinaikos, Gent. Ljubljana there. Shamrock, Rovers made it through. Nikosia are in there. Copenhagen, whoever they are. Back up to Topola, Ljubljana there. APOEL, Nikosia, and Heidenheim. Those 16 clubs will duke it out in a two-legged affair. And we'll get into that in just one second. I think it's back up to Topola, is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Meanwhile, the 8 teams that are already there. We've got Legia Warsaw, Sissel, Bruges. We have Lugano, Douche Gardens, Chelsea, Fiorentina, Victor Guadamares, and Rapid Vienna. So those are the 16 teams that will be duking out right here, right now in those playoffs, and the 8 clubs waiting for the official first round knockouts when these playoffs come to a conclusion. Today, we're going to take a look at the first legs, see who have the upper hand heading into the second leg in a week's time. So they're on the screen right here, right now. So let's jump in the deep end and kick it all off with our first game, which I believe is going to be Gent up against Real Betis. What a spicy one it will be, coming at you over in Belgium for the first leg on the 13th of Feb. Gent coming at you in, they did finish 17th in this table, 58% form for them in all competitions and all venues, just 1 defeat in the last 6. So because Real Betis, they are 15th in the table, they were 15th, they got 10 points, of course, coming into this on back-to-back games unbeaten. They did beat a draw with Bilbao most recently, of course, coming into this. They are playing, now this video will drop probably after the conclusion of their weekend action up against Celta Vigo. Gent coming into on the back of that 1-0 win over Anderlecht. They're going to take it on Mechelen this weekend as well. Got basic odds on this one. The basic odds do think Real Betis will have the upper hand here and for this first leg in Belgium. I'm not so sure myself. I am leaning towards a Real Betis victory, but it's going to be a tight one. Going to give the 2-1 win on the night in Belgium to give the Spanish upper hand heading into the second leg. Let's go to the next one then, shall we? Is TSC up against... Into the next one we go now. It's TSC, aka back up to Topola, up against Jagiellonia Białystok, coming out of Poland. Of course, back up to Topola, ending up finishing in 24th in the table. Just 7 points for the campaign. Just 1 win, though, in the last 5 in all competitions. 50% forward for them right now, up against the Polish outfit Jagiellonia, who did finish 9th. Unlucky for them, just outside that top 8. Unbeaten now in the last 5 matches. Now, coming into this, back up to Topola, did lose to Red Star Belgrade in the Serbian top flight. Jagiellonia, a 5-0 win over Radovanic. Renum over in the Polish top flight. Again, both sides are in action this coming weekend with the bookies on this one. Going slightly in favour of Jagiellonia Białystok, of course, from Poland, but it could go either way. It's one of those games that is evenly spread across both the home and the away win, even the draw. And I think I am leaning towards a draw. Don't get me wrong, I think we might see the Polish outfit come out on top with the two-legged affair, but right here, right now, I think this match will end up even Stevens heading into the second leg. Next up, we got NK Celje coming at you up against APOEL Nikosia, coming at you out of Cyprus, also on the 13th of Feb. Celje ultimately ended up 21st in the table, just 7 points for the campaign, just 1 win, though, in the last 6 in all competitions. APOEL Nikosia, though, ended up finishing 11th in the table with 11 points, but coming into this, just 1 win in the last 4. Now, coming into this, Celje losing to Bravo Ljubljana in their top flight in the respective league. Meanwhile, APOEL Nikosia could only draw against Anorthosis Famagusta in the Cypriot top flight. So coming into this, not the best form for both sides. Bookies on this one, they'll go with just about NK Celje with the upper hand. The Cypriots underdogs going that way as well with me. 2-1 winners, Celje having the upper hand. Let's go to Iceland now. Is Víkingur Reykjavík up against Panathinaikos out of Greece. The Icelanders coming into this on finishing 19th in the table, 50% forward for them right now. Just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Panathinaikos out of Greece, who ultimately ended up in 13th spot with 10 points for the campaign. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Spin it around though, 2 wins in the last 6 for the Greek Supergiants. Coming into this on the back of that 1-0 loss to Olympiacos in the Greek Cup quarterfinals. Víkingur just got their domestic season back on track, actually kicking off this past weekend with a 2-0 win over København over in Iceland. Yeah, they're actually, their next game is this game where the Greek team will have to take on Aris Thanakoudis over in the Superliga in Greece. The bookies for this one, they go with the away side. That is Panathinaikos. The smart money would be that as well, but I think I'm going with another draw, 1-1 in the end in Iceland, as Reykjavík will give themselves a bit of a chance into the second leg. Let's go over to the other side of the bracket now. It's Borac Banja Luka up against Olimpija Ljubljana. That's right, also on the 13th of Feb. Banja Luka coming into this, finishing in 20th in the table, 8 points for the campaign, unbeaten now in the last 3. Up against Olimpija Ljubljana, who finished 14th with 10 points. And just lost once in the last 6. Now, these two sides have played once since 2019. It was a friendly back in February. 2019, Ljubljana coming out on top with a 3-2 win. The hosts coming into this, though, on the back of a friendly, but prior to that, a 0-0 draw against Omonia Nikosia. As for Ljubljana, coming into this on the back of 3 successive clean sheets. The bookies, they do slightly, just about, give it to Olimpija Ljubljana, but it's one of those that is a bit of a coin flip. I think I am leaning towards a 1-0 win to the home side, though. And again, these are two-legged affairs. It doesn't mean they're going through. It just means they have the upper hand heading into second leg. Let's go over to Greece now as we look at, who do we have here? It's not actually Greece. It's Cyprus. It's a double Cyprus affair. It's Omonia Nikosia up against Paphos. Oh, wow. Spicy, very, very spicy. Omonia Nikosia are 22nd in the table in the Europa League. They finished with 7 points. Up against the Cypriot components there, or opposition 12th in the table, 10 points for the campaign. Both sides coming into this pretty red-hot form. Omonia Nikosia on 92% form. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6. Up against Paphos, who've won 5 on the spin. Now, they have played 26 times since 2015. 10 wins for Nikosia, 8 wins for Paphos. There's been 8 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at this very venue, it was a 3-0 win for Paphos. That was actually, tell a bloody lie. It was a 1-1 draw back in March 2024. That was in the First Division Championship Cup. They've already played each other once this season. It was at Paphos. It was a 1-0 win for Omonia Nikosia. They are, of course, just one loss. One loss for Paphos over the last 4. They already played as well at the end of last season in the Cypriot Cup. It ended up being a 3-0 win for Paphos on this one. Wow. All Cypriot affair here. Nikosia with a 3-0 win over Kamostoia. 3 clean sheets. 4. Oh, I don't even know. They've got at least 5 clean sheets on the bounce. Up against Paphos, though, they are scoring goals. 2-1 winners over ALS Omonia heading into this one. Of course, all Cypriot affair could go either way. Bookies can't decide. They're slightly going with Nikosia on this one. I'm going that way as well. 2-1 winners in the end. Let's go over to Norway as Molde take on Shamrock Rovers. Wow. Welcome to the show in Norway. 13th of Feb. Molde finishing 23rd in the table with just 7 points for the campaign. 2 defeats in the last 6 up against Shamrock. Finishing 10th. Wow. We were 11 points for the campaign. Just 1 win, though, in the last 4. Now, these two sides have played twice since 2022. 2 wins out of 2 for Molde. That's right. Last time they played in Norway, it was a 3-0 win for Molde back in October 2022. The Norwegians' last competitive game was a 4-3 win over Mlanda Boa Chef. It has gone very, very quiet for those folks over in Norway into the winter months. Meanwhile, Shamrock Rovers' last game was a 5-1 win over Chelsea. That's 5-1 loss, over Chelsea. They got spanked on that game. Bookies for this one, they'll back Molde, as will I. Going to go with a 2-0 win on that one for Molde in Norway. And finally, folks, we head over to probably the biggest game of this knockout stage in the playoffs. It is Copenhagen. It is Heidenheim coming to over in Denmark. Of course, Copenhagen currently, they finished in 18th in the table, 8 points for the season. Back-to-back defeats still coming into this. Up against Heidenheim out of the Bundesliga, who did finish in 16th with 10 points, just 2 points separate the two sides in the league. Heidenheim on the back of 3 successive defeats, including the last one against Dortmund, 2-1 loss. Copenhagen's last competitive game was a 3-0 loss to Rapid Vienna. They might have even taken it easy in that game. Either way, it was not impressive. Copenhagen will take on Aros in a friendly before this game. Heidenheim, of course, taking on Freiburg. And again, that game might be done and dusted by the time this video goes out. The bookies for this one, though, Copenhagen massively fancied on this one. Heidenheim underdogs. And again, I'm going that way. 3-1 win, Copenhagen to take it, guys. That, of course, is my early door prediction on in this one, of course. It is only the first-legged affair. Folks, those are my... There you have it, folks. Those are my first-legged predictions for these playoff matches. We'll be back for the second legs. Now, before we go, I want to let you know who remains the favourite. The top 3 for the actual gong here. Real Betis are third favourites. Fiorentina are second, and Chelsea remain number 1. But that, my friends, is what I've got for you. Make sure you smash your subscribe, smash the like, hit the little bell. Of course, we'll be back for those players' second legs in the Europa Conference League. But until then, I'll see you soon on the other side.